does not look good, but we'll do with that for today. Hey guys, welcome to another one of our awesome live session where we take the time to answer all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. I hope that you guys had an amazing week. We surely did. It is stunning in New Zealand at the moment since it's summer, beautiful weather. It's fantastic. We've gone on a few hikes, so everything is honky dory here. But why are we the best people to answer questions about traveling in New Zealand?
Well, we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, and this is Robin, and I'm Laura, and we write New Zealand's largest travel guide, which is free and online for you guys to use and to look up any questions that you have regarding traveling in New Zealand, whether it is just a quick, 2-week camper van road trip or a year-long working holiday. We have like thousands and thousands of articles on there to help you plan your trip and make it the best trip possible. But as we all know, not everyone really likes to read a lot of stuff. So we also do this live Q&A session on YouTube at every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time, which around the world, that is on a Saturday afternoon in the US, 2 p.m. EST, 11 a.m. PST, on a Saturday evening in Europe around 8 or 9 p.m. UK, France, depending on where you are. I don't think you can
say Europe anymore for UK.
Oh, yes, well, around about that area. I suppose it's still part of the Europe continent.
I don't know. You guys are probably going to be living, the UK is probably going to be leaving the continent as well. Be like, we
have our own continent. All right. And then in India, that is on a Sunday morning at 12:30 a.m. And in Australia, that is also on a Sunday morning at 6 a.m. So, we do this live Q&A session for you guys every single Sunday, where throughout the week, we take the questions that you guys have left in the comments section of any of our videos so that we can go through those questions as well. But of course, the best place to come and ask your questions is on the live chat right now. So if you are watching live, go ahead and ask your questions and we will do our best to answer them for you.
Here you go. So in the live chat, we already have Hiroshi that says, hey guys, how are you?
We're good.
Doing awesome. We've done some epic hike lately. It's just beautiful weather in New Zealand at the moment. Very windy today, but fantastic. That's how we are. How are you, Hiroshi? Tell us how you are about planning your trip and everything. Dana Alna say, oh my gosh, I absolutely love those curtains. It matches your top.
Oh yeah, they do.
Look at it.
We are a fan of blue. So yeah.
Here you go. Well, here's a curtain guide of New Zealand. This is
matches your hat too.
Yeah, this is a teal color of that. Actually, it does look like the waters around Goat Island Marine Reserve. If you're a very fan of this color, go to Goat Island Marine Reserve. It's near Auckland. It's pretty awesome. Okay. You're on curtain matching activities in New Zealand. Adam Chow says, hi there. I love your videos so much. Thank you. Thank you, Adam.
Thanks.
I'm going to New Zealand in May from the 25th of May to the 3rd of June. How's the weather like? Is it the rainy season? What's the average temperature? So Adam, actually last year we did a series of videos which features every single month in New Zealand, and we took the map and we gave the temperature everywhere in New Zealand. We went in depth on that. So if you just type May NZ Pocket Guide on YouTube, and then you're going to find our video straight away, and it starts talking about it for about 10 minutes. But in short, to answer your question right now, May is autumn in New Zealand. Is it this the end of autumn?
Yeah, it's the last month of
last
autumn.
Month of autumn in New Zealand.
And just going into winter.
Yeah, so it's a little bit rainy. The weather is going to be extremely changeable. So make sure that you have some layers and that you have a good rain jacket. A couple of weeks ago, we actually did a video about what to pack for a trip in New Zealand in autumn. So you may want to watch this one as well, Adam, just so you actually pack the right thing. But all in all, it's going to be like, it's not that cold, but it's the wind is going to make it really, really cold. So just make sure that you prepare for that.
Yeah, and it also depends on what part of New Zealand you're traveling. In the very north of New Zealand, on the North Island, it tends to be much warmer temperatures, or at least it feels much warmer than if you're traveling in the south of the South Island. So it really depends on where you're traveling, and that's why we go so in depth in our other videos about what the winter is like in autumn and winter and we do the videos on what it's like for every single month of the year. So we really do go in depth and say the temperatures around, like the average temperatures around each part of New Zealand as well.
I mean, you guys are watching our video. You know that we always go way too in depth into like everything. But yeah, Adam, since you're coming in May, if you do have some extra questions for us, just go ahead. Put them in the comments, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. All right, so we have A02 Boy that says, Kia ora from CA. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
He says he's going to be visiting in April. He's going to North Auckland to South Queenstown, I'm guessing. Queensland is in Australia. In a camper van. I've been loving your videos and info. Peace and love. Oh, not even a question. Peace and love, bro. Awesome. I hope you're going to have a blast along the way. How long are you going to take to go from Auckland to Queenstown? Because there is a lot to do along the way. If you watched New Zealand's Biggest Gap Year, which is our first series of video where we did 365 activities around New Zealand in 365 days, you will find that there is a lot to do in between those two places. Heroes say, I like Rob's jacket. Where do you buy those? So this jacket is from, I think it's Mons Royal, is it?
Yeah, Mons Royal.
So it's a New Zealand brand, which is actually from Wanaka, which is nearby Queenstown. And it's Mons Royal, so it's MONS, and Royal, like a king, like royal. I think that's a pretty old one. Oh yeah, Mons Royal. So it's a pretty old one, so I don't think you're going to be able to find exactly the same, but they are sold in many stores around New Zealand, so you can find them in Torpedo 7, for example. And yeah, they're not the cheapest, but they're all like, pure New Zealand's merino wool and everything, and you guys know how much we love the merino wool in New Zealand and how we need warm stuff and layers and everything. So that's exactly kind of what we need for hiking.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And this t-shirt's the exact same brand as well, Mons Royal.
Oh yeah.
And we got that from Torpedo 7 too.
There you go. 7-2? Torpedo 72?
As well. Torpedo 7 as well.
Cool. So Mona Sweet 24 says, hi, I will arrive in Auckland next Sunday. Hope the weather will be still nice.
You never know with New Zealand.
Yeah, you never really know. 4 seasons in one day. We say that all the time, but the forecast looks stellar. So it's going to be, it should be a really nice weather for you. How long are you going to be spending in New Zealand, Mona? Mona Sweet 64. I hope your name was Mona. I just made that assumption. Yeah. But how long are you going to spend in New Zealand? And will you get out of Auckland? We always say that to people. We say, if you land in Auckland, try to get out of Auckland as fast as you can. Not that Auckland is a bad city. It's just, it's a city, and it's really not what New Zealand is known for. So there's a ton of things to do outside of Auckland. So get out of Auckland.
Yeah.
Adam Chow says, I'm traveling to the South Island in a motorhome. Thanks a lot. Oh, cool. So we've done that as well. It's really awesome. So just be prepared to drive a big camper van on the windy road.
Take it easy on the roads. They're quite windy.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
Clay Bryan says, morning again, guys. You've ever been in Dunedin? Yes, of course.
Yes.
We spent so much time in Dunedin. We went back in the days when the Cadbury factory was still open.
We did the Dunedin Railway.
Yeah, the Taikeri, I think, gorge.
Oh, yeah. Taikeri,
I think.
Yeah, something like
that. What else did we do in Dunedin? We went to the Abattoir Centre.
Of course, we went to
the Lives too.
Oh, yeah. We did the Otago Museum, the Toitu Museum.
We spent a whole day in town. Went from the Octagon to the
all the cathedrals and stuff.
We did all the cathedral, ton of cafes. Yeah, we love Dunedin, and we're getting back to Dunedin in not
Taiyeri. Yeah,
Taiyeri. That's the word. Sorry.
So we actually have videos on YouTube of us actually visiting all those places because during this sort of feature we did, which is New Zealand's Biggest Gap Year, where we did 365 days of 365 activities, we actually spent quite a lot of time in Dunedin, and we spent each day in Dunedin that we were there for doing something different every day, and we filmed the entire thing. So you can actually check out on YouTube some of the stuff we did in Dunedin. If you just type in Dunedin NZ Pocket Guide, you'll find all our videos about Dunedin.
What you say? There's even a playlist actually on the channel. There's a playlist of Dunedin when we talk about Dunedin and show like ton of awesome places. Where am I? Christine Martini says, aloha from Hawaii. Aloha. I am going to New Zealand in April on the return flight home. It's not until 11:55 p.m. from Auckland. Oh man, that is late. Where do you recommend stay that I can has a late checkout or could hold your bags? All right, so usually the hotels near the airport have some options like that, which is quite handy. Otherwise, one of the good things about the Auckland airport is that it's kind of surrounded with quite a few things that you can be doing. So if you're not too bothered by going to the airport, leaving your luggage there, and then using a taxi or an Uber from the airport, you can go to there's awesome. Actually, there's one of the best mini golf in Auckland if you want to go have fun. But there's also.
Do you think it's open till 12?
No, but not at 12. But
Yeah.
you can do it in the day, and then
Yeah,
after
yeah.
you arrive at you have 3 hours before anyway,
Yeah.
so you have to be there 3 hours before. Anyway, so it can keep you busy during the day. There is also a rope course. There is a butterfly place where there is heaps of amazing butterflies. So there's a lot to do, not too far from the airport. So that can be kind of an option.
Yeah.
Another option is to actually ask your hotel, and almost every hotel will do that, to hold your luggage for the day. Right, so even if you check out on that day, they will have a place to hold your luggage. And if you stay in the hostel, they actually have literally because everybody does that in hostel, they actually have a massive locker room when you go in and you put your luggage in there.
Yeah.
And then spend the day exploring Auckland. Get yourself tired anyway because you're gonna want to be able to sleep in the plane. So go do a few things around Auckland. Go to Rangitoto Island. Go to the Sky Tower. Then pick up your luggage. Hop on your shuttle. So we recommend Super Shuttle. It's actually cheaper than Uber to go to the Auckland airport. And that's basically how we'll do it. So 2 options: either you store your luggage at the airport and you do things around the airport, or you store your luggage in a hotel and do things around Auckland and then head to the airport just with the 3 or 4 hours before your international flight, like they recommend.
Yeah.
My option, I will stay around the Auckland Central, so I can go to Rangitoto Island, which is my favorite thing to do in Auckland.
I absolutely agree.
My recommendation.
Yeah.
All right. A02 Boy says 2 days in Auckland, 10 days of traveling, then 2 days in Queenstown. What should I not miss? Okay, so in Auckland, Rangitoto Island, or if you have more time and a little bit more budget, an island called Tiritiri Matangi, which is really awesome. Islands in the Hauraki Gulf with a stunning amount of birds. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love it.
And you can take ferries to both those islands from Queenstown Central.
Not from Auckland Central.
Oh, sorry, Auckland Central.
You're confusing us.
Yeah. I just see Queenstown on the screen. You can take ferries from Auckland Central, so it's really easy to get to as well. You don't have to do any driving.
And what about in Queenstown? What are the 2 things he can't miss?
Well, it depends what you're into, obviously. If you are a bit of an adrenaline junkie...
You're wrong. You have to do the luge. No matter what you're into, you have to do the luge. It's so much fun.
Oh, well, if you're visiting Rotorua on the way down, I'd say do the luge in Rotorua.
Yeah.
But in Queenstown, it depends if you're an adrenaline junkie and you want those sort of crazy activities. There's bungee jumps, that sort of thing, skydiving, and you actually have quite a lot of operators to choose from with skydiving. Whitewater rafting's pretty cool there as well.
Yeah, the whitewater rafting in Queenstown is actually really epic because it's not too hard, but it's still quite raging. And you can see the videos on our channel. We've done all the activities we're talking about right here. We've done all of them, and we have a full video about each of them, so you can watch it and know if it's worth your money, depending on your taste. But what I like about the Queenstown rafting is that it's not too hard, but it's quite a lot of fun.
Still
quite
adventurous, though, yeah.
And around the end, you go through a tunnel, which is so rare to be able to do in a whitewater rafting trip. So so it's really fun. It's really a lot of fun. So yes, that's the thing that we wouldn't miss in Auckland and in Queenstown. For you, Adam. No, sorry, that was A02 Boy. Mayur Bosale, I think. Say, is there a possibility of someone give a job to work in New Zealand without a work visa? Flat out, no. It's illegal. The employers will take a lot of risk. You will take a lot of risk. That's not. I mean, do you really have the skills that an employer will risk tens of thousands of fine and even maybe jail time for you? Ask yourself the question and see if there is a possibility. Otherwise, probably not. Kishore Kumar says, "Hi guys, good morning." Good morning.
Good morning.
He asked us if we had breakfast. We actually just did.
It's very nice. There's a lot of plums that are available in New Zealand at the moment. There's a lot of plum trees around. So we have been getting ourselves some plums for our breakfast muesli. So yeah. New Zealand is a very productive sort of place with lots of fruit.
So we went scavenging ourselves. We got our own fresh fruit. It's pretty awesome. Adam Chow say, yeah. Do I need a snow chain just in case? I mean, it's always good to have. But one of the things with snow chain that a lot of people forget is that if you do get snow chain just in case, you need to learn how to put them on. We've heard so many stories of people that says, I got a snow chain, or even on the Facebook group that we manage, and people that literally post in winter on the Facebook group, like, I'm on the side of the road, I don't know how to put the snow chains. So make sure that if you take the snow chain, you know how to put them on, and you can ask the staff of the rental company to actually show you.
Yeah, and you tend to only need to use snow chains if you are going to be driving into mountainous regions. For instance, if you're going to go to one of the ski fields, maybe if you're going to do one of the mountain pass roads, for instance, Arthur's Pass. I think sometimes Linda's Pass, but that's not always snowy. Just sort of those really, like, obviously high alpine areas where you're more likely to need snow chains. But just so you know, most of the roads in New Zealand are more sort of going around closer to the coast.
Warmer,
So snow doesn't really tend to fall near the coast. So it obviously depends on where you're driving. But if you think you are going to be on the South Island, crossing from west to east, going over the mountains to do so, then maybe get your snow chains for that.
Yeah. So if you go around the South Island, you don't need. If you at some point you cross, you may need.
Yeah.
But that's basically it. And honestly, it's not that bad. So yeah.
Yeah.
Clay corrects us on Tyreri, of course. And then I am Ozai says, hi, can I open an overseas account like in ANZ Bank if I'm working for someone or some company which is based in New Zealand? I'm from digital marketing background. Well, if you're not here in New Zealand, you're not going to use your New Zealand bank account in New Zealand, you won't be able to do that. You will have to use an overseas bank account. If you come to New Zealand with a work visa and you're planning on staying in New Zealand, then you can definitely open a bank account there, yes. Adam Chow, my flight arrival on Queenstown, 9 days Queenstown, Lake Tekapo, Mount Cook, Wanaka, Royds Peak, Arrowtown, Te Anau, Milford Sound, Queenstown. Is it fine? Man, that is awesome. That is really cool. So how are you going to get from Mount Cook to Wanaka? Is it all like 1 day trip? No, it's not.
Yeah, so if you are traveling in that order, there's probably a better way of doing that.
Can we take the map?
Yeah.
We're just gonna discuss this one quickly on the map for Adam, because that looks a little bit odd. Yep, you do the dot, so I'm gonna get the Queenstown.
Sorry, I've just
Queenstown.
Queenstown is around here.
Lake Tekapo, Mount Cook, Wanaka, Royds Peak, which is in Wanaka, Arrowtown. Te Anau, Milford Sound, Queenstown. So
some of them might be day trips.
Yeah, hopefully some of them are day trips. So Adam, so let's just can you do the stuff in order, like the map. So if you go Queenstown to Lake Tekapo, that was close to my face. Yeah. Okay, go from Queenstown to Lake Tekapo.
Okay, so Queenstown to Lake Tekapo is around here.
Yeah. Then to Mount Cook.
So then you backtrack a little bit and go into Mount Cook.
Yeah. So already you see, like for this one, you should do Mount Cook and then Lake Tekapo. Then he wants to go to Wanaka.
So then you would have to come back down, and
it's all the same road.
Yeah, then
it's only just the one road, right? So
then there is a road sort of bypassing Queenstown, so you can go to Wanaka.
Yeah. And then so he wants to do Royds Peak there, and then Arrowtown.
Okay. So then you come back the way back there and go to Arrowtown, which is closer to Queenstown.
And then Te Anau.
And then so from Arrowtown. Yeah. Okay, so Arrowtown would go to Queenstown.
He just repassed through all the Queenstown.
Yeah, and then to Te Anau.
Then Milford Sound.
And then Milford Sound.
And then back to Queenstown.
And then back to Queenstown.
Okay, so that doesn't make much sense, right? Because you just keep doing the same road over and over again. So our opinion will be, Yeah. So you base yourself in Queenstown, right? So maybe on your first couple of days, you go to, this is Wanaka, yeah?
Yeah.
You go to Wanaka right here. and you do Roy's Peak, and then you come back to Queenstown. Then you can do your trip, and you're going to go to Arrowtown, then Mount Cook, then Lake Tekapo, and then drive back to Queenstown. So you're going to see all those places. And then after, you're going to give back your camper van or your car, because you'll be like, enough of the driving. And you hop on a bus that does the Milford Sound tour, and you come back here. So they drive for you, so you get to enjoy all the scenery, because it's really long drives and really beautiful. And you do that. So like that, you base yourself in Queenstown only a couple of times, and then you drop back in Queenstown, and you can fly off. But that would make much more sense than the order that you currently have.
Yeah, but since you have 9 days, I mean, you might want to do, say, one day you go to Arrowtown and then back to Queenstown, because Arrowtown's only about 20 minutes drive from
We often
Queenstown.
consider it as a suburb of Queenstown. So yeah, you can definitely base yourself in Queenstown, just do the one day in Arrowtown. But since it's getting out, I like to be efficient. So since it's getting out, I would do
And
that.
maybe if you want to make a more of an overnight trip to Mount Cook and Lake Tekapo, I would drive from Queenstown to Lake Tekapo, because in Lake Tekapo, the activities there, what you go to there to do are very short. You can go to Lake Tekapo, you can take a picture of the lake, maybe check out the hot pools, or they have a jet boat there now, for instance, which will only take you a couple of hours of your time. Then from there, you can backtrack slightly and go up to Mount Cook and stay in Mount Cook overnight. Maybe spend the next day in Mount Cook, doing a hike or something like that, or one of the helicopter tours. You could even stay there an extra night. Since you do have 9 days, that's quite a lot. And maybe stay in Mount Cook 2 nights, and then after that, drive back to Queenstown, where, like Robin suggested, give back your camper van or car, and then do the Queenstown to Milford Sound trip from there. So that's what I would suggest.
All right. So it's just our opinion. Obviously, you do your trip however you want, but we think that it may make it way more efficient and way less driving as well, which is good. All right. So what is happening? Clay. Oh, sweet. Like I said the other week, I'm born and bred in Dunedin. I will have to check out the video. It will be embarrassing that there's stuff in my hometown and didn't know about as well. Haha. No, you know what? You asked me of my hometown back in France, and there is most things I don't know about, so it wouldn't be embarrassing. You always, when you travel and when you think about taking a holiday, you always want to take it far away, not necessarily nearby. All right, guys, I'm sorry, we're going a bit slowly, but I'm going to go through every comment. I am Ozai says, between congratulations to Air New Zealand that won the top list of the best airlines in the world. Wow. Yay. It's Air New Zealand International, not local flight, just so you guys are aware. Hiroshi Abe Hero says, how many days would it be necessary to visit in the north part of the country beyond Auckland? So talk about the Northland region. It really depends if you're really into what you're going to see there. But many people do it in like 3-4 days, and they're totally fine with it.
Usually the minimum people spend is about 3 days traveling from Auckland up to the Bay of Islands. They might do a day trip to Cape Reinga and back to the Bay of Islands, and then back to Auckland from there. But yeah, you can even spend like a couple of weeks even exploring that whole area. There is always stuff to do. There's lots to do around there. And if you need inspiration for the amount of things that are available in the Northland region above Auckland, then check out New Zealand's Biggest Gap Year. Again, that's when we did 365 days of 365 activities. And we can show you tons of videos and tons of activities that you can do in Northland. So just type in things like Northland NZ Pocket Guide, or Whangarei NZ Pocket Guide, or Cape Reinga NZ Pocket Guide. Onto
just type
YouTube.
the destinations.
Onto YouTube, and you'll just see all the stuff there is to do around there.
A02 Boy says, thank you so much. I can't wait for this adventure. You're very welcome. By the way, guys, if you want to say thank you to us, it's really easy. Just click on the like button. Because it really helps us kind of get a bit more known on YouTube. So yeah, it's a very easy way for you guys and free way to say thank you. So if you just click on the like button, it's always cool. Okay, I can't pronounce your name. Iakbos Tanks. Sorry for destroying your name. But this lovely person say, you think it's good to immigrate in New Zealand? So we are both immigrants in New Zealand, and like in every country, there are pros and cons. The first thing I will say is definitely go beyond the tourism kind of pictures, because coming to New Zealand for a trip for like 10 or 20 days or even a year as a gap year and traveling around New Zealand does not really represent whatsoever what life will be in New Zealand. So yeah. And so that's the first thing. And the second thing I would say is that be prepared for a high cost of living, because we live in an island and we have to import quite a lot of things here. So yeah, it's not all picture perfect here. And just go beyond the picture, what you see in the sceneries and in the movies and everything like that. Just go beyond that and do a bit of research, and you have to actually crunch numbers and see everything. It's not for everyone, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I am Ozai say, once a person is in New Zealand on a work visa, then how much time that person can apply for permanent residency for New Zealand, and how much time does it take to become a permanent resident in New Zealand? All right, I am Ozai. We do not have the right to give immigration advice on this channel. We say that all the time. It's illegal in New Zealand to actually give immigration advice if you're not a registered immigration advisor, which we are not. So I can't help you with that. The only thing that I will tell you is that it takes a very long time. We're talking years and years and years. We have some friends who, we still, in some paperwork and everything. And we have some friends that have been working through the immigration process for over 8 years now. So it takes a long time. It's a lot of paperwork, and the fees are very, very, very high. So, we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's not a cheap endeavor. AO2 Boy says, I'll have a full day in Auckland. Can you say the name of those islands to us again, please, and the difference between the two? All right. So I'm going to type them for you because it's going to be easier for you than us saying it with our islands.
And I will say the difference between the two.
Yeah. So and you can actually, if you want to see the whole thing, just use what I'm typing right now and just watch the video that we have on it. So it's going to be even beyond.
We don't have a video on Rangitoto Island, though.
Don't we?
No, we didn't actually visit in New Zealand's biggest gap here because we visited so.
I've been there about like 10 times. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
So we actually don't have a video on that, but the second island Robin is typing, you can actually watch a video of us going to visit that island. It's called Tiri Tiri Matangi. Robin's going to just put a comment on there now with the spellings. But the difference between the two in short is Rangitoto Island is sort of a 600-year-old volcanic island. And with that, it has a lot of sort of the volcanic remains very evident. It has lots of lava fields, like, solidified sort of molten rock everywhere. You can go and check out some lava caves, just really cool caves that you can just go in and explore. And there's also a walk that takes about an hour from where the ferry drops you off up to the top of the volcano, where you can get some really awesome views of the surrounding Hauraki Gulf, which is the body of water surrounding Auckland, and you can also see the Auckland skyline from there as well. And that's definitely the most sort of popular island option to go for. It's just because the journey there is pretty quick. I think it's maybe about half an hour to get there. So that's a popular option. It's very different from Tiri Tiri Matangi Island, which takes maybe about I think it's almost an hour to an hour and a half to get there, because it does take a stop on the way there to pick more people up on the ferry. You get to
see plenty of islands. You basically get a free cruise on the Hauraki Gulf. It's not that bad.
Yeah, exactly. So Tiri Tiri Matangi Island, this is sort of like a bird sanctuary. So New Zealand is really known for its bird wildlife. I'm sure you've heard of kiwi birds. There's some quite unusual bird species to see in New Zealand, and one of the best sort of like examples of seeing these birds is on Tiri Tiri Matangi Island, because there's like a setup. Basically, it's free from pests, which would usually, endanger these birds as well. So it's basically a safe haven for New Zealand wildlife. So if you want to get an idea of what sort of wildlife you can see in New Zealand, then that's a really good example of a place to go. There's loads of different walks you can do on the island. Some walks go into forests, some are on sort of like open sort of hilltops and stuff like that. And they have little bird feeding stations around the island. So you just go sit there and you see loads of birds coming and feeding on these stations, or going into the bird baths and stuff. So I'd say the main difference between the two is one is more about the wildlife, the other is more about the scenery. So yeah, take your pick.
Wildlife. But yeah, check out the video of the Tiri Tiri Matangi Island. So just copy and paste that's those wordings on YouTube and just add NZ Pocket Guide at the back, and you'll find our video and you'll see our faces looking at birds. Cool. Where are we at now? AO2 boy, I just did that. Okay, I am Ozai. Say, what's the minimum expense for a single person to live in New Zealand as minimalist with no cars or no fancy living space? It really depends, man. I mean, seriously, on our YouTube channel, you can type cost, and we talk about the cost of food, we talk about the cost of accommodation, we talk about all the different costs. So just type the word cost, COST, as a search bar in our YouTube channel. If you do that, you will find all our stuff, and then you can do your own math, and you can see what's your own personal taste. You know, how much rice, how much this, how much that, and you will literally be able to do the math. So, you know, it like your question right now is so genuine. We can't give you an answer, and it's all pertain also to like you wanting to immigrate here. So we have to balance this fine line right here. Adam Charles says, your suggestions are brilliant. You're very welcome. I didn't realize that my trips keeps going on the same road back and forth. I'm thinking of spending a night in Tekapo for shooting the Milky Way. Thanks. You can do that from Mount Cook. And actually, you will have better mountain kind of like you could have like some nice shot with the mountain range and everything. So I think you should do your night shoot from Mount Cook. Personally.
I totally agree. And also remember that Lake Tekapo and Mount Cook are both within the Dark Sky Reserve. I'm sure if you're going to be taking pictures of the Milky Way, you already know that Tekapo is part of an international Dark Sky Reserve, but Mount Cook is part of that as well. And in fact, there's actually a little less sort of lights from the village in Mount Cook. Because the village is so much smaller than Lake Tekapo. So yeah, I would definitely recommend doing some shots from Mount Cook instead.
Yeah. So spend a night in Mount Cook, you'd be better off.
Yeah.
Trust us. All right, what else? I am Ozai says, would you advise to go to Australia rather than New Zealand if a person wants to convert its status from work visa to resident one? We don't know anything about immigration in Australia, so I don't know. I wouldn't advise. I would not give you life decisions like that. No, I can't. No, we don't have an answer for you. Sorry. All right. So we're all caught up with the questions. You guys are really active today. I really like it. So if you do have some more questions, put them in a live chat. As you see, we go through every single comment, so we won't miss you. Sometimes it takes a while when they pile up, but we won't miss it. In the meantime, we're going to answer questions that we got throughout the week. So the way you can ask us questions, if you're just watching a rerun of this video and you're not watching it live, sorry about that. If you're just watching our video as a rerun and not live, is to put any of your questions in the comments of our videos. We go through them every week and we print them, and so we can answer them for you, you know, just like that when we don't have any live chat questions. So the first question I'm going to go for is from Zish Weinholtz.
Beautifully pronounced.
I am so sorry. So this person says, I'm interested in the Tiarara Trail and I'm thinking about walking it. Have you guys ever walked it? And does it go through Fjorda National Park? And how long might it take? Okay, so a full disclaimer right here. Although we do have walked many parts of the Tiarara Trail as part of all the hiking that we do around the country, we never took and spoiler for the rest of the video, 4 months that it takes to go for the whole trail. So we haven't done it all in one go, but we've done many hikes along the way. So you do have a lot of like kind of really kind of beginners questions for the Tiarara Trail right here. So we decided to kind of answer your questions and also give you a little bit of introductions for like a beginner's guide to the Tiarara Trails. So let's get started with what is the Tiarara Trail.
Yeah, so the Tiarara Trail is a nationwide trail in New Zealand, which starts from the very northern tip of New Zealand at Cape Reinga and ends at the very southern bottom of the South Island in Bluff. So that is quite the journey, and it is not something really to be taken lightly.
It goes from here all the way down to here.
Somewhere in the middle there.
Here.
Yeah.
So, and you will go through, obviously, the whole island. And not on purpose, don't go through the island right here because we don't
exactly know every single nook and cranny of the
we could do the research,
trail.
but I wouldn't trust my drawing. But basically, it goes through the entire country.
Exactly,
All right, so a few numbers. The whole hike is about 3,000 kilometers. If you are watching this from the US, well, it is many, many, many miles. The hike takes about 4 months to do, and that's if you hike about 25 kilometers per day. So that would be kind of a steady pace, but like not too crazy as well. It's just something that will keep you quite busy. Now, throughout the track, you will be kind of in the wilderness for quite extended period of times, because between towns, you will be left without seeing civilization for 2 to 8 days every time. But when you go to town, then you can resupply a little bit.
Yeah.
Another thing which is worth mentioning is that, well, it costs nothing to do. It costs nothing. You need some money to do it.
Yeah,
and
it has associated expenses.
But there is no cost to do the Te Araroa Trail. So it's not something you have to pay or anything. You can get a lot of free map. There's also a free app, and you can get all that from the teararoa.org.nz, teararoa.org.nz. So it's really good. And if you feel like, you may run out of battery on your phone, which makes sense if you may be 8 days without seeing a city, you can get from it some maps and some books and everything like that. They are, obviously you have to pay for those, but it's very small costs for something that you're going to do for 4 months.
Yeah,
definitely
for keeping on the right track as well.
All right. So now, when it comes to organize the hike, Laura is going to give you a few information.
Okay, so the recommended months to sort of start the Te Araroa Trail, if you're going from north to south, which is generally what most people do.
It's the recommended way to do it,
yeah.
Definitely, because it allows you to finish the descent season down the South Island. So it's all about the season and when is the best to do it and all that. So north to south is the best way to do it.
Yeah. So generally, some good months to start the Te Araroa Trail in the north of New Zealand is to start between September and December, which is sort of toward the end of autumn and going into summer. Just so the weather is getting warmer, and it's usually a good time to actually be starting your hike, when knowing that you've got 4 months ahead of you. You want to generally be sort of hiking while the weather is warm, especially if some of your stays are going to be in Department of Conservation huts, for example, or camping or anything. It's usually more outdoorsy activities, and it's also generally nicer to hike when there's a little less rain, for instance. So that's generally why it's a good time to actually start sort of just as summer is starting to get on its way. So it's generally recommended to finish the trail in Bluff at the bottom of the South Island before April. And as you go down the country, you will realize that it tends to get a little bit cooler, and the weather's maybe a little bit rainier, more on the west coast of the South Island as well. So yeah, it's generally better to make sure that you sort of finish the trail before winter hits the South Island, because then that's generally a little bit more uncomfortable for hiking for that amount of time.
Exactly. So the other thing that people tend to not understand is that doing such a trip in New Zealand requires experience. Although New Zealand has some of the best hiking facilities for beginners, most of the hikes are super easy to do around New Zealand, as a beginner. There's well signposted and everything. For one of those, for the Te Araroa Trail, you need to be experienced. You need to be able to, fend for yourself with the elements for the required amount of time. You need to be prepared for delays. If the weather is really bad, you may be stuck in some places for a little bit longer without any means to get out of the wilderness that you're on. So you kind of need a certain degree of experience to endeavor the Te Araroa Trail. Now, the Te Araroa Trail also, although I mentioned that it was free to do, it is not cheap to do. Okay, there is going to be all the costs between the dog hut pass, so you can sleep in dog hut. When you are arriving near cities, well, there are things called trail angels that can host you. So there are people that could actually host you while you hike the trail. But you're also going to have all your costs, including like being in the city. You have to resupply, you have to do all those kind of things. You have to pay for the ferry to cross as well. You have to pay for just making your way from the closest town, which is called Pahia, all the way to Bluff to get started. So you have to pay for that as well. So there is quite a lot of cost included. You have to get your beacon, so safety beacon, very important. Don't start without that. So if you don't have, at the worst, at the minimum, you need 5,000 New Zealand dollars as a budget to do that.
Yeah.
As more safe, you won't save 7,000. You need to have enough money to be able to tackle something like that. It's an amazing adventure, but don't turn it into a nightmare by just not being prepared well enough. So I just can't stress that enough. Now, if you want to get started with the Te Araroa Trail, there is a really amazing place to get started. It's called teararoa.org.nz. It's a charity trust which kind of run the trail and all the communication for it, and it has all the tips, and you can even register there so they can actually keep track of like where is everybody. It's just a little bit safer and all that. They won't come and rescue you. You still need your beacon, but you know they kind of like to monitor where is everyone and how it works. So yeah, so do make sure that you actually do a lot of research. Watching this video should be just the tip of the beginning of the massive iceberg of your entire research for doing that. You do need a lot of equipment and a lot of preparation for it.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing thing to do. We met so many people that have done it all in one go. You know, throughout all our adventures, you know, we met people on longer hikes that have done it, and it's really epic.
Yeah.
Now that has scared you to death and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to make it, I'm never going to do this hike, there are still some options for amazing walks around New Zealand, which are part of the Te Araroa Trail, because one of the things that this Te Araroa Trail does is that it basically links a lot of existing hikes together in order to make one long hike. So you, as a hiker, and the reason why we say we've done many parts of it, you can actually do sections of the Te Araroa Trail yourself just by doing day hike or even sometimes multi-day hikes.
Yeah.
So can you give us like a couple and also can we answer the question, is it going through the Fjorden National Park, and what's like the section which will be the closest to the Fjorden National Park that also may be a day hike?
Okay, so first of all, the Te Araroa Trail doesn't actually go through the Fjorden National Park. It goes sort of more into the center of the Southland region, which is the region which the Fjorden National Park is in. But Fjordland is on the west coast, and yeah, the Te Araroa Trail doesn't actually go into that section. But yeah, can you remember the name of the hike of the Long Hill Walk? Is it? Yeah. So an alternative day walk you can do nearby is the Long Hill Walk, which is sort of near towns like Reefton and Tuatapere and Riverton. And yeah, that's just a walk through like what used to be an old sort of Chinese mining settlement, which has then been overgrown by the bush that's coming back. So that's quite a cool sort of section of the Te Araroa Trail, which you can do sort of as a day walk, or there's even a small loop walk there as well, which takes about 2 to 3 hours to do. But there is
Northern. What is really popular hike that is part of the Te Araroa Trail?
So a very popular hike, which I'm sure most people have heard of, is the Tongariro crossing. This is actually part of the Te Araroa. This is a really hard word to say. Te Araroa Trail, and yeah, it's a day hike which it's a one-way hike. It's about 19.4 kilometers or something like that. Generally takes people about 6 to 8 hours to complete. It does involve taking a shuttle service to get from one end of the track to the other. And it's famous for its volcanoes and amazing sort of vibrant green lakes and just being in a really incredible volcanic landscape. But yeah, also another one that is on the list as well is the Te Araroa Trail actually goes through the Wellington Botanic Gardens. So if you're in Wellington and you're checking out the gardens, you will actually see little signs for the Te Araroa Trail. So yeah, there's that as well.
That is not the most challenging part of the hike, let's be honest, walking through the Wellington Botanic Garden. All right, cool. So I hope that this video was useful and help you to actually kind of understand a little bit more about the Te Araroa. And again, it's just a beginner's guide. We know that it's just to give you a few tidbits of information and also give you the tools for you to start your research again. If you did find it useful, make sure to like and subscribe to this video. It's a great free way to say thank you for all our hard work. And in the meantime, I'll go back to the live chat. All right. So there's a few comments right here. And again, I'm going to go through everything. Don't worry, guys. I am Ozai. Say thanks to the both of you. Love and blessing to you all. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hiroshi says, I'm thinking about working on isolated places like hotels in national park. Can you recommend any? Well, Laura worked in 2 ski fields in New Zealand, speaking of isolated places. So yeah, it's really awesome to do. The Park Hotel is actually quite a fun place to stay at.
Yeah, so that's well, it's quite nice in winter, and I assume in summer as well. They have sort of like a central courtyard to the hotel with some spa pools in the middle, and then they have all the hotel rooms around. They do have some like bunk rooms as well if you're on a budget, or they do have some sort of I guess a little nicer sort of double rooms with ensuite and all that sort of thing.
So this is in National Park.
That's in National Park. That is near the Mount Ruapehu, which is also near the Tongariro crossing on the North Island, just to make that clear.
So yeah, so it's a great place to stay at.
Yeah.
Adam Chow says, thank you so much. I'm going to bed now. It's 3:30 a.m. in Malaysia. Oh my God. Why did you stay awake? Go to bed.
Yeah.
What is that? Anyway, good night.
Good night.
Adriana Camilo says, hi, speaking of night photography, if staying at the Mount Cook Campervan Park, can I do night shots from the park, or would I need to hike the Hooker Valley track and get away from the light pollution? Also, is it safe to do it at night? Honestly, the light pollution is going to be so minimal, you kind of be fine. When you do one of the night photography tour that is organized, because they are night photography tour literally organized in Mount Cook, they usually take you just a little bit down the road. They really don't take you far.
Yeah. So they can take you, well, you can also go as well.
Yeah.
If you're staying near Mount Cook Village, which the campervan park is also nearby there, you can just do a short drive toward the airport that is near Mount Cook, and there's like sort of parking areas just off the side of the road. Even if you just park up there, and you can, that is far enough away from the light pollution, and that's actually where they take nearby to that is where they take the stargazing tours, where they have all their sort of. Huh?
I just say that, but that's okay.
Yeah, no, but I'm elaborating. I'm doing a better answer.
Oh,
yeah. So
wow.
and that's where, yeah, that's generally where they go and do the stargazing tours in Mount Cook, and they have all the high tech telescopes and stuff like that. So that's where they go. You can go sort of nearby. Maybe they would be a bit pissed off if you actually went and stole their spot, but yeah. No,
but yeah, anywhere around the airport. So literally, like, and you can walk down, it would be like 20 minutes or not even. So yeah, so in that area that would be kind of safe at night. Now the Hooker Valley hike, it has a few kind of hazards over there, so I wouldn't do it at night.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Hooker Valley track actually starts from the campervan park, if I remember correctly. But I would just, you could just walk maybe about 5 or 10 minutes. Make sure you take a torch to start with so you can see exactly where you're going. The track is very well, it's well-formed trail, so going off the track is quite hard to do. So just as long as you are actually really careful and don't go all the way down to the bottom, there's no need for that. You can just go maybe, just about 10 minutes down the track, set yourself up there to do some photography and hope for a clear night, because you don't want any clouds for that.
So what you're going to be really surprised is how dark it is over there. So you'll see that you don't really need to go really far away to get some really amazing night photography there. But by all means, we are not night photographers. We're not photographers either. We take pictures along the way, but we take like kind of convenience picture, like picture that we need for writing or travel guides, right? So we're not trying to do artistic style shots and everything like that. By the way, if you do actually take some amazing pictures of the night skies and everything, we're always eager to publish some photos on our articles and everything, so feel free to send them to us. We'll credit you for sure, but it's always hard for us to get good night photos because, again, it's not our job. So I hope that helps you. Ariadna, I think I pronounced that wrong every time. Ariadna, maybe. Anyway, I hope that answered your question. If you have any other questions, just in the live chat right now. We're here for another 15 minutes, so go nuts. All right, so we have Mario Bosale says, please suggest how I get a work visa. I already apply a lot on websites, but they require ready work visa. I don't understand that if no one gives me a job, then no work visa, and all ask me about ready work visa. Yes, nobody will hire you in New Zealand if you don't have a work visa. So you need to go on the immigration website and sort out how to get a work visa. We do not have the right to give you immigration advice because we are not licensed immigration advisors. So we don't have the right to give you answers on visa-related questions. So you will have to figure this one out on your own. the best place to get started is the Immigration New Zealand's website. So you need to scroll through everything and figure out which is the best work visa for you. There are many different options and you can find out one for you. Once you get that job visa, then you need to come to New Zealand, because the next thing that employers are going to ask you is to be in the country
and to already have a New Zealand bank account and an
so
IRD
once you come
number.
to New Zealand, once you get your visa, you come to New Zealand, you have a bank account, you have an IRD number, which is what you need to pay taxes, and then you will be able to get a job. There is no other way around that. It's the correct order to do things, and there is no way to do it otherwise. Just making that clear. J.A.M. was sending some racist comments. Glenn Bexley saying Aroha. Thank you.
This is
Te
how you
Aroha.
This is how you pronounce what we were just did the video on the Te Aroha Trail, but it's hard to say.
I can't
really
even pronounce
fast.
English properly anyway.
Yeah.
So I can speak English. You guys can't expect me to speak every language.
Yeah.
So I'm trying with English. I'm just going to try to stick to that. And yeah.
But thank you, Glenn, for confirming how to pronounce it.
Sajid says, Kia ora, kia ora.
Kia ora.
Finally, I'm going to travel to New Zealand in February. Awesome. In February. Oh, yeah. It is February now. So you're coming soon, right?
Woo.
You guys helped me a lot to clear some of my doubts. Thank you. You're very welcome, Sajid.
Yeah, no
We're
worries.
really happy to help. I hope you're going to have a blast in New Zealand. What have you planned? Tell us a little bit about your itinerary. Hiroshi says, hi, guys. In order to thank you for all the information, I will try to get you something from Brazil. Do you have any preference, like candy or something else? I think the only preference we have, my friend, is something you can pass through biosecurity. Mm-hmm. So first, watch our videos about that and see what you can bring, because remember that most of the foods, you have to declare it. So, and everything has to have all the ingredients listed in English. So let's get started with that, because we will not be happy if you have issues at biosecurity because you try to be nice to us. We prefer you give us nothing, because, it's just you being nice rather than you being in trouble.
Yeah.
So I think that's the first thing I would say.
Yeah.
Glenn Bixley says, roll the R, kia ora from New Zealand.
So, Aroha.
You know what we need to do, Glenn?
Aroha.
We need to do this video more in the evening when we're having our dinner, and then we can put some hot potatoes in our mouth when we pronounce. And I think that with a hot potato in my mouth, I'll be able to pronounce many English and Maori words better.
Yes.
Because I really don't speak very good English. Sajid says, hi, I'm coming as a student in NMIT in Nelson. Oh, cool. You're going to have a blast in Nelson, the sunniest city in the country. I remember we talked about Nelson together, Sajid, actually. Now I recall it starts ringing a bell. I'm getting a bit old. My memory is not that great. Jogo Martin says, hey, Hiroshi, I am from Brazil. Ah, cool. Jogo and Hiroshi, are you guys coming to travel together, or are you going to be in the same plane? When are you coming? Because Hiroshi is not coming just soon. He's coming in a few months. But yeah. And Glenn says, no, learn vowels. Okay. Glenn, I think we're out. I think we're just going to try to just pronounce how we can. And I think that we're going to stop making fool of ourselves. A-E-I-O-U.
We were actually,
know the song.
To be fair, we were taught how to pronounce them, Maori vowels, in Rotorua, and they taught us a little song of how to pronounce them. So so we do try, but so originally coming from different countries, it's always hard to get the pronunciation just right, but we do try our hardest.
Speaking of mispronouncing, Arana is the one I mispronounced. Where's your name from, Arana Camilo? That's a cool name. I like it. She says, that's very helpful. It will be my first time trying night photography, so fingers crossed.
Ooh.
Well, the only thing that we know is that you absolutely do need a tripod.
And you need a lot of patience.
Oh my God. And instead of pressing on the click on the button to take the photo, because that makes the camera moves a little bit, you need to use the remote control, the little clicker. So invest in one of those. They cost really cheap. You don't have to buy the official one. You can buy like another one. Like the one we bought was like $2.
Yeah.
But it's watch our video. What actually watch our videos of the night tour that we've done. So maybe just type nights and then NZ Pocket Guide on the on YouTube, on the YouTube search bar, and you see us doing those tours. And during those videos, we kind of give the tips that on the day the guys that were with us told us. So we may give you a few tips, but I think on YouTube you'll be able to find like way better tutorials on how to do that at night photographies and everything.
Yeah.
But you need a lot of patience. Sometimes you press on the button and you need a shutter speed of like 20 minutes, and you just literally just here waiting 20 minutes.
Yeah,
for that person
exactly.
to do his thing.
I definitely recommend practicing some night photography before you come to New Zealand. Like, just do some, like, you know, for even if there is a bit of night pollution, if you're living in a town or something, just sort of try and do a little bit of practice before you come to New Zealand, because then when you realize when you get to New Zealand and that's the time you want to take really good photos, you know, you don't want to miss the opportunity because you have a lot of fiddling to do with your camera.
That's a good idea. We never thought about. So Corne Freira says, oh, you can just use the timer on the camera at night. So you click, you get a tick, and then you start taking the picture.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I never thought of that at all.
Yeah.
That's a very good idea.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you don't need to get yourself a remote. Don't waste your money on that.
Don't waste your $2.50 that I wasted on the remote. To be fair, we do use the remote a lot because when we do hiking and everything, we set the tripod or something. And
we take pictures of ourselves, you know.
Because, you know, we need to illustrate every part of our travel guide. So if you go on nzpocketguide.com, you can find the largest travel guide ever written on New Zealand, which is written by the two of us. But that means that we have to go do all those places, and most of the time we have to leave with our own pictures. So we use like those remote stuff and those timers on the cameras all the time. But I never thought about it at night. That's crazy. Anyway, even when we're in the glowworm caves taking pictures and everything, never thought about the timer. Crazy. Anyhow, Corne Fiora, you're much smarter than we are. And Are Anna, good luck with the night photography. If you take some good one, just, you know, as I say, send it to us.
Yeah.
I'll just ask Corne Ferreira. He or she'll teach you. Yes. Okay. So what is happening? So Hiro and Diogo are having a full Portuguese discussion over there.
Yep.
So obrigado cachaça to the both of you. Enjoy. And then the Corne Ferreira says, don't forget that some of the words. So when you see some names of towns, which have most, like many names which have WH, it's actually pronounced F. So, you know, for example, you have a town called Whangarei, you have a town called Whakapapa, so it all starts with WH on it. So it's interesting pronunciation. And Diogo and Hiroshi are exchanging email addresses.
So they might meet up in New Zealand.
Here you go. You guys go travel together.
And they're both going to bring us tons of Brazilian snacks. So we can't wait.
So they're not going to enter the country. They're going to be stuck at biosecurity. So that works well. And Glenn is giving us a bit of insight, saying that Te Araroa, which again is the long hike that goes from the top of the North Island to the bottom of the South Island, actually means the love.
And then there is a town called Te Aroha.
Yeah, there is a town called
Not to be mixed up with Te Aroha. Trying to do it with the R, with the rolling R.
This is not all day.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So obviously we do have a lot of knowledge about New Zealand, about all the places and all the things to do and everything. But we both come from different countries. Laura from the UK and I'm from France. So pronunciation-wise, we just do what we can. I butcher every English words, and I butcher every Maori word, and I don't make any discrimination. I butcher every word. And we also travel a lot through the South Pacific. We run a website as well. So we run NZ Pocket Guide, but we also, nzpocketguide.com. We run FijiPocketGuide.com. We run Tonga PocketGuide.com. So all those countries, we run Niue PocketGuide.com. I think that's the first time I tell people we run this one. But so we run all those websites, and every time we have a very hard time pronouncing all the local lingo. But that is just, you know, it doesn't mean that we disrespect any of the culture. It just means we try, but we're just not that good.
Yeah.
He's trying to figure out what we say. Don't worry about it. We were just talking about the hike. Michelle Elizabeth said, daily cost to travel in a car gas-wise. So it will depend obviously how much you're driving, but just to give you an idea, for a normal sized car, one gas tank, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a gas tank so you kind of have an idea. But one gas tank at the moment is about 120 to 120, and between 120 to 140 New Zealand dollars for a full gas tank. So when we travel around, we usually do a full gas tank every 3 days, depending on if it's days when we're traveling a lot or not. So between 3 to 5 days, one gas tank will last you. So that should give you an idea of your daily gas consumption. Obviously, if you have a camper van, that's going to be much more because it's a really big vehicle. And if you do have some times when you kind of just do a few day trip, let's say you are spending 2 or 3 days in Rotorua, for example, and you just do a few day trip around there, you're going to use much less than if you're driving Wellington to Auckland in one day. So it's a bit hard to kind of gauge, but I think if you start with a normal car, will be between 120 and 130 New Zealand dollars for a full gas tank. And when we were traveling around New Zealand, we did a gas. We have to refill gas between every 3 to every 5 days. So I think I should help you do the math right here. You're welcome, Michelle Elizabeth. Give us a like to say thank you. And cool. In the meantime, we're having Hero and Jogo that's going to be traveling together, and that's the spring of a new friendship. It's wonderful. And we want to thank you for joining us for another one of our live sessions. So it's awesome to hang out with you guys. We did answer a lot of your questions, but if you do have some more, make sure to put them in the comments of any of our videos, and we'll pick them up for next week. And we'll be back next week at the same time. So it's Sunday, 8 a.m. New Zealand time. And if you are elsewhere in the world, if you are in, we don't want to see Laura anymore. Yeah, that'd be nice. If you are in the UK or in France, it's 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. on a Saturday. If you are in the USA on Saturday, it is 2 p.m. EST and 11 a.m. PST. I remember them. If you are in India, it's 12:30 a.m. on a Sunday. And if you are in Australia, it's 6 a.m. on a Sunday as well. And yeah, in the meantime, have a wonderful week. Keep on planning your awesome trip in New Zealand. Keep on coming up with some crazy questions for us so we can answer them for you. And we'll be super happy to help you plan your trip in the weeks to come, every week. All right. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.
See you next week.